offer the best grooming products for you. Dress on natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Grooming company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The black gentleman, yeah. Company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture, Stormybman, for this Monday, June 24th, 2024. And this evening, we are covering The Matrix. Not the trilogy, not the additional film that is not a part of the trilogy, but we're covering the original Matrix film from 1999, a groundbreaking film that saw cinematic action, cinematic special effects, cinematic escapism be heightened to a new level. And audiences really haven't been the same since. There used to be a phrase when the film was being promoted before it opened. They would say, "Do you want to know what the Matrix is?" And then they would say, the Matrix has you. These little phrases that became a part of the promotion for the film made audiences very inquisitive to get to the theater to see what this was about. And then that one amazing scene where they showed Trinity when she was fighting that cop in that room, when she was sitting at the laptop and she leaped in the air and froze in the air, and the camera kind of turned around her. Everybody was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And that made us really wet our pants in the movie theater at the time, and we were never the same after that. So this is what we're talking about this evening. Hope that you nerds out there are feeling the same as we are feeling about this film, and we're going to talk about it a little bit this evening. And allow me to bring my partner in crime into the building. We got my brother Drew Titan in there. What's happening, man?
Salute to the nations and the guys of the earth, man. Salute, Stormy. Salute to the chat. Let's talk about it, man. Groundbreaking, man. Groundbreaking.
When you saw that scene with Trinity, what did you say when you saw that, man?
Stormy, when they walked in on her, you just knew she was gonna do something badass.
Right.
But when she jumped up and ran across that wall, I said, "What am I?" I was like, whoa, what's happening? She ran she boogied across the wall. Boop, boop, boop. I was like, yo, what's happening? Now, let me explain to you guys why this is groundbreaking. To me, and Stormy, I know you're going to identify with this. We're kind of used to seeing that kind of action, aren't we? Mm-hmm. But this was the first time that we saw this type of action on this level. Via Hollywood, and it wasn't with an Asian lead man, and it was with this film that I said I think that Hollywood, not since the passing of Bruce Lee, with a lead Asian man doing the kung fu, the martial arts and stuff, and Jet Li was already around, but he was the lead man. Now what they're doing is they're incorporating action scenes directed by the guys that are used to choreographing Asian fight scenes in those Asian movies. You get what I'm saying? So for a minute, you're looking at it, and you're like, for a second, you're like, wow, come here, man. No, white people don't do that. Black people don't do that. But the fact that the story and what was going on, it made it make sense. If you get what I'm saying, it made sense, you know. And it was like, whoa, that first scene, they set it off. And the fact, and shout out to the ladies, because the first action you seen was with what? Trinity. And she set it off. And I was like, oh, what are they doing here? And again, Stormy, when she ran across that wall, the whole theater was like, oh, they ain't wasting no time. I said, yo, you know what? I'm hooked. I don't even know what the story is, and I'm hooked.
For me, it was when she leaped up and kicked that first cop. She leaped up out of her chair and she was like this in the air. You know, with all the kung fu films that I watch, I knew exactly what I was seeing. I was seeing some martial arts right off the bat.
Is that the first time they used camera motion like that?
Huh?
That was the first time we've seen an American film that they used the camera movement like that, right?
Yeah, and if you watch the behind the scenes making of the film, when they did action like that, they had like cameras all around them. It was like a whole bunch of cameras set up, and they weren't like just in a circle or something. They were kind of up and down like that, you know, like a wave. Because when they captured the action, when they captured whatever movement that they wanted, they could go back and digitally play with it in a computer to make it more awesome, you know. But that movement that she did when she leaped in the air and she froze, and dude was looking, and then she kicked him, boom, and then the other guys started coming in there and they were shooting at her, and she ran up the wall at that moment, like you said. All of that stuff was awesome, man. And it was like the first, you know, within the first 10 minutes of the movie, they had you. You know, it was like, you just ready. Your popcorn is halfway gone because you
Yup. You're like, what? Groundbreaking, man. Groundbreaking. Man,
this film was so entertaining, man. And you know what's really funny? Only the nerds went to see it at first.
True story.
Only the nerds went to see this at first because it didn't do very well at the box office initially. The Matrix really took off on DVD when it made it to home video. And I think the major reason was for that because people found themselves rewinding and stuff. You know, it's like, because you could do that at home, right? It's like rewind a scene, play it over, listen to the dialogue again, because they were kind of talking over your head a little bit in this film with the dialogue. You know what I mean? Especially when Morpheus came into play and he started trying to wake Neo up. So there was a lot of things being said, and it was like, man, when people were watching it at home, they could like rewind it and go back to this scene and be like, man, I was trying to figure out what they meant by this and that or whatever. And you remember the scene where Neo and Morpheus were walking down the street and he was telling him what the Matrix was. He's like, the Matrix is a program, Neo, and he's walking down the street and Morpheus is walking and nobody is touching him. He's walking and it's just crowds of people on the street, like a busy New York street or whatever, right? But as Neo is walking, he's bumping into everybody.
Right.
And if you notice, the reason that was because there was a line of dialogue when he was training Neo when they were fighting. That famous, I know Kung Fu. Show me. And they got in there and they started. But what Morpheus told him, he was like, you're faster than this. He was like, don't think you are, know you are. So he was saying basically there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So when they were walking down the street, Morpheus could walk the path, but he also knew the path. Neo didn't. He was still not fully awakened to everything that's going on. So he's bumping into people and everything. And then they saw the inevitable lady in the red dress. Huh?
Yeah.
he's like, did you hear me, Neo? Or were you looking at the lady in the red dress? I was look again. And he looked, and there's Agent Smith with a gun right to his head. This movie, man, it was so darn good, bro. It was so darn good on so many levels. I mean, that's why, to select it exclusively and not the trilogy, because the trilogy became something else. But the initial film, so good. So good. And there were so many gems in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they had their names when they were in the Matrix. And then they had names when they were outside the Matrix. Like Mr. Anderson, that's Neo when he's in the Matrix. But outside the Matrix, what the awakened, unplugged, he's Neo, the one.
Right.
And the word Neo, or the letters spelled, are just simply a rearrangement of the word one, O-N-E.
Yeah.
So they just switched it around, made it into a different acronym, but it still meant the same thing. So it's like there were so many plays subtly like that on the film overall. The Oracle, Morpheus's ship's name, the Nebuchadnezzar. Just there was so much, man. And if you are a fan of this film, if you are a geek fan of this film, meaning that you have taken it upon yourself to look into it at different levels of understanding and consciousness. I mean, just that whole thing about the awakening, that was within itself something else. This right here, man. What did you think when you first saw this and he had presented this to Neo, and then when he decided to take what he took, and how they showed it, like when it went down into his mouth and into his system, and then something started happening? What was your dude? I was sitting there, my jaw was a slack, like, dang, I was like,
well, fortunately, when when you get older, you begin to watch these films. When this came out, I was already at the age where I was analyzing messages. I look for messages in everything. Movies, there's always a director, in my opinion, or a writer, in my opinion, trying to drop what they call Easter eggs, or not so much Easter eggs. Easter eggs is that just it's something that they sneak into the movies to make the audience say, "Oh, look, did you see that? That's something from somewhere else." No.
Right.
This is not an Easter egg. What this was something to make you think.
Yeah, and Marvel did something which they called it MacGuffins. MacGuffins which were strategically placed scenarios, actions, objects, or whatever that had multiple layers of meaning.
Right.
Within their appearance or whatever. Like one of the characters that I really came away thinking about in depth was Cipher.
Uh-huh.
He was a play on the devil, right?
Yes.
The name Cipher.
So you talking about, okay, when you say play on the devil, Well, I'm gonna let you define it. I'm gonna tell you what I think in a second, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and define. You said you talking about the name itself.
Well, who he represented in the film, because he betrayed everybody.
Yeah. I was thinking more of Judas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But remember, in scripture, it teaches you that Judas didn't know he was going to betray Christ. Mm-hmm. But there's a very specific line in scripture that tells you something about the process that many people overlook. Do you know how it says that it has been said that the Spirit doesn't dwell with us always?
I've heard that.
Right. Well, in the instance of what I'm specifically speaking of in scripture is Judas, before he becomes a betrayer, it says, then Satan entered Judas. You can look it up. It says, then Satan entered Judas. That's what made him become, because he was one of the disciples.
Yeah.
But when he was taken over by Satan, he was no longer acting on his own actions. He was acting under the influence of a wicked spirit. And that's kind of lost. And it's one of those things that, like, you know, when I was attending services and everything, I would want the ministers of information to cook on that a little more, you know, and they wouldn't. And I really felt bad about that, because you have to understand, do you know that you say this in everyday life? You do something and you say, man, I don't know how I did that. Yeah. Or you see someone do something very bad and you say, what the hell got into him? You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is real, because we are soulful beings, you know, regardless of what one may want to think or whatever. But Cipher meant something in this film. And do you remember what his name was outside of inside the Matrix? Because outside the Matrix, he was Cipher. But in the Matrix, do you remember what his name was?
No.
When he was sitting there having dinner with Agent Smith, and he talked about
the steak
and everything. Yeah. But his name, Agent Smith called him, because he was like, when you put me back, I don't want to remember anything, nothing. Do you hear me? Yep. And then Agent Smith said, okay, Mr. Reagan.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Dude, go back and watch the movie, bro. Yeah.
Let's park there for a second.
Yeah.
Let's park there for a second. Reagan. Cipher.
Yep.
He represents a person that was held to a high standard at one point, but you don't know, and the team don't know, where they're relying on him, that he's given up. He's given up hope, and he just wants to wave the white flag. And he said, "There's no hope. We're not going to win this, and I can't stand on this anymore." And he wants to go back into the Matrix. I recall his demands. He wanted to be wealthy, and he don't want to remember anything.
He said, I want to be someone famous, like an actor.
Reagan.
Yeah. See, Reagan. You see what I'm saying? I told you, God. This film got so many gems in it, bro. I do not exaggerate when I be saying this stuff.
That I missed that. Damn. Reagan. That's funny.
Yes. Yes.
That is funny. That is hilarious.
Yes.
Reagan is his name. How funny is that? My gosh. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Thomas Anderson.
yeah. And this was my scene right here. He said, how about I give you the finger and I actually speak to my lawyer? And then he did that weird thing with his mouth.
Yeah.
But the oh man, the gems. Like I was saying, I'm at a point where I look for the message in these films, and there's a lot of gems in all these films. And that red pill, blue pill, that moved me, because there's a lot of people, they would have took the red pill and saw things for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't have waited that long. They'd be like, "What? Whoa! It's really 2000 and what? Everything is fake? Oh no, I can't do this. Listen, man, put me back under, suck the electricity out my brain. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. No, I can't. I'm not built for this. This was about human will.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because you know how many, you know what they don't tell you? They don't tell you how many people that Morpheus did that to. And when he showed them the real world, they just said, no, I can't do this. Put me back. I want to see the story about those people. I want to see the story about those people that couldn't take it.
Dude.
You know, man. Man, this was deep, man. This was deep.
You know,
go ahead.
To sit here and think back on this, when Neo was being awakened, and he said to Morpheus, he was like, I can't go back, can I?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, would you want to? You know, after knowing the truth. But when he told him about the future, or what date it truly was, we don't know what date it really is, but what we do know is that we were the ones that scorched the sky.
That's right.
And they were showing the cities that were all destroyed and everything. But where I'm going with this, man, get a grip for a moment. Everything was based on being plugged in to the matrix, right?
Yeah.
And when they showed the field of people in the pods, when Neo had awakened,
yeah.
You do know. Now I'm pausing. I'm taking my time with this because I'm trying to find ways to say what I'm saying without triggering or you know, saying certain things. But you do realize that we're scorching the sky right now, right? With chemtrails and things of that nature.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that what's the guy that's the founder of Tesla? What's his name?
I know, I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And the owner of Twitter now, where he call it X.
Yeah.
Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
You do know that he wants to chip everybody and put something in your brain.
Man, they talk about this Book of Revelations, brother.
Yeah, to heighten your, you know, whatever. But where I'm going is, do we not have these new devices that you can put on and see simulated life and action and stuff like that?
Yeah.
They call it, what do they call it? That, you know, that thing you put on. It's like those big goggle things. What do you call them?
Virtual
reality.
Yeah.
Think about this now. Because when you use that, isn't it similar to what we are talking about with this film? Some people can't live without that stuff. It's like a narcotic.
Yeah.
It's really gripping. But the film is there, and it's not so much of like foretelling, oh, what's to come. It's about foretelling how to not become, I want to say maybe inoculated, indoctrined or something, you know. It's
yeah.
If you can hold on to a piece of yourself, that's important, because if you give it all up, man, you're gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
But as you and I have talked about, even on our channels, when we're talking the subjects of boxing and everything, we talk about the agents of chaos. Huh?
Yeah. The agents of chaos. These guys represented so much. Let me tell you what the mind F with this is. This one right here, the main gun right here, he became such an outlaw that he was a menace to his own people. And that you found that out in the sequels.
Yeah.
But he was the main gun, pun intended. You see him holding the gun there. He was the main gun. He became obsessed, and you found out that outside of his programming, he didn't even like doing what he did. He wanted free will. And he says, yo, look, you know what drives me crazy? You. He said, you guys are diseased. He said, let's end this. Get me out of this. I don't want to deal with you guys. You remember that?
Yep.
I forget the exact words, but he was sick of his own programming. He just wanted to get this out the way and get it done. But the illest thing about the first movie was that when you no, you know what? Was this the first movie you found out? Or no, I'm sorry, the last movie. I think it was the last movie. They found out that what did they call it? Where all the humans were in Sanctuary at? What was it called? What was the place called again?
Zion.
Zion.
Yeah.
It been destroyed several times already. And this was a loop. But what's crazy is that part and I know we're jumping around, but this is very important. When Neo woke up in the real world and the Sentinels were chasing him, and he stopped and turned around, he said, no, something's different. And he held his hand up and stopped that damn thing in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Is Neo not Jesus in this story?
He's definitely the Messiah.
There you go. There you go.
Even down to when he made that sacrifice. You see the position that he was in?
Yes. I'm telling you, the gems that they drop in these, you got to pay attention, bro. Oh, man. You got to pay attention, man. Bro,
Yeah.
wait till we do Planet of the Apes. Ooh-wee.
We might be able to do that live, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh man,
we might have to be strapped while we do that one, Chris.
Yep. Oh man, we could do the 1960s and the first movies. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, there were so many gems in this. That's what make this story so That's what makes this story so to me it was touching, because I know the point where they were trying to go.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just, this was just something else, man. This was something else. Which other scene? Oh man. Okay, so Neo's learning how to be Neo, and he doesn't know the importance of his being. He really has no. He doesn't know how serious what he is, how serious his presence is, until he's gunned down. And then what happens? I just said he's like the Messiah, right? He was gunned down, but what happened? He what? Resurrected. And magically, Stormy. And again, I know we're jumping around, but when he was resurrected, and now he's stopping bullets, and those agents. Now, remind you, y'all, if y'all remember, those agents. Now, in the Matrix, the group was badass. Regular humans that were still asleep in the Matrix, they couldn't see them. They're running up walls. They jumping 50 feet into the air. But when those agents showed up, they had to run because they couldn't beat the agents.
Right.
So Neo gets gunned down. Right? And then when he gets up, Agent Smith runs up on him. And now he's trying to use the Kung Fu on him. And with one hand, he's blocking everything. And Neo is the chosen one. He just took off on their ass, and he regulated all of them. And what did they say when Neo starts fighting back? You move like them.
Mm-hmm.
You move like them. The gems in this film. It's like I'm watching it, and once I understood the premise of the film, I knew it was going to happen, but I was still looking forward to seeing how it played out. That's why this was so well done. That's why this was so well done. And this one, the first movie is the most important one. And shout out to the sister who wrote this. We all know about that.
Absolutely.
Because she sued and won, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah. That's right. She sued and won. Yeah. Trinity, she was badass. She was badass, man. This was something different, man. Me and my homegirl went to go. When I tell you my homegirl was a super fan of this, we went and took her daughter, and then I called her. We went on a Friday night, and then I called her Saturday night because we were supposed to go do something else. And she says, yo, I'll call you when I get out the movie. I said, what you gonna see? She said, oh, The Matrix. I said, damn, again. You know, she saw that damn thing 3 times in a week. Super fan. She loved this film. And she couldn't wait for the sequels, man. But this right here was groundbreaking. But it's about waking up. None of this stuff is real. The gems in this, none of this stuff is real. At the end of the day, all of this can be taken from you. And who are you when it's gone? If it goes, who are you?
Dude, check out this little tidbit of information. The film opened March 24th, 1999 at the Man's Village Theater. That's the Chinese theater in Hollywood.
Yeah.
March 31st, 1999 in the United States. April 8th in Australia. The movie had a budget of 63 million, but Drew and chat, this film took in $467 million.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why when you're in the music industry or you are in the entertainment industry, and I've spoke to people in both, you always work off of percentages. Don't let them give you no flat rate. We'll pay you $2 million. Hey, great. And then that damn thing makes $467 million. Whereas what would you rather take, a flat fee of $2 million? Or a percentage, or I don't know, 3% of $467 million. Now, I don't know what the math is on that, but it's more than $2 million. Pretty sure. Not a mathematician. Y'all look that up yourself. This is why you always pick a percentage. And with what you just said, Stormy, did this not become an instant classic?
Instant.
Ain't that something?
This film spawned so many spin-offs that were not spin-offs, but copycats, or films that tried to take elements of what they did.
Yeah.
One of the ones that I remember distinctly was Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Which
wasn't bad.
Yeah, Christian Bale and Ty Diggs.
Yeah.
You know, that film it copied so many elements of Matrix. It wasn't even funny. But it wasn't the Matrix, but it because of the groundbreaking action and special effects, they found a way to incorporate that. You could even talk about Charlie's Angels. Remember how they stole action scenes like from the Matrix and put it in Charlie's Angels?
Man, there was so many off-brands, so many things, man. It was funny, man. It was so funny, man. It was so funny. But the Matrix is the original. They set it off. They set the wave of action. For action. And there was another movie. When I make my return to Bear Cave, there's a movie I want to talk about. When we talk about incorporating Asian action fighting scenes, the choreography, there was another movie before The Matrix. Do you remember a movie about the Musketeers?
Yes.
Okay, those fight scenes. When I saw the advertisement for that, I already knew what they did because I done watched enough Jet Li and Chow Yun-Fat to understand what they were doing. I said, ain't no goddamn French Musketeers fought like that. I know what they did, but I enjoyed the movie. You know, but The Matrix set it off, man. They did their thing, and this right here, this is one of those. This is what you call timeless. We're talking about the first movie, y'all. We're not talking about a couple of years ago that god awful rebooting. I did not like that at all. I'm talking about this movie. This set it off, man. This really set it off, man. The choreography, the storyline, everything was it, man. Everything was it, man. This hit hard. And I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
When you think of this film, what comes to mind immediately? Like, if it's a scene, if it's a line of dialogue, if it's, you know, something that happened when you first saw it at the theater. Let's talk about that type of an impact. What when you think of this film, what does it bring to you?
This was trend setting, and the first thing you notice is the attire. That's the first thing I noticed. Lawrence Fishburne, bald head with glasses. Now, there was a lot of brothers wearing bald heads, but now we're seeing it on the silver screen, and he made it look cool. And then you notice that the good guys wore black in this. Shout out to Chuck Norris. the good guys wore black and they wore shades and they kind of looked like conventional villains, but they weren't the villains. So the attire, the fashion is what I'm saying. The fashion caught my eye. Do you know how many brothers, when this came out, right, that year, do you know how many brothers I saw just walking around Midtown Manhattan with trench coats looking like that, with shades at nighttime looking like that? This became a bit of a movement. It became a bit of a movement. So the attire, and again, you know how we talk about Blade, and you talk about the that first scene where not only the action set off the film, but do you remember the music that was used in that scene? It's not music that you listen to every day, but it matched the action. Same thing with The Matrix.
Yeah.
This was a movement right here. So the fashion of it, that really like caught my eye. I'm like, whoa, what is this? Because you know what it felt like? You know, we nerds here. I love anime. And if I felt like, see that right there. You know how many white boys in Midtown Manhattan at nighttime when they're taking their girlfriends out and they dress like this? It wasn't no costume. Yo, I'm telling you, it wasn't no costume. Yo, every chick, you know how you have people dyeing their hair blonde? Everybody had black hair or they were brunettes. Every white woman in Manhattan had shades and they had that low haircut. This was a movement. This was a movement. Man, every white dude in Manhattan looked like this. They were wearing black shirts. They were going to the gym and working out extra. They were trying to act like Keanu Reeves. Want to hear something crazy? Let me tell you something crazy. I remember I was talking to one of my friends, and he had got off I forgot what train he was on. He got off the train and he saw these white chicks just like giggling and talking and looking in the train. And he was like, what are they looking at? And he looked in the train, the door closed, and he looked. He's like, what the fuck? And the girls was like, yeah, that was Keanu Reeves. The man was just taking the damn subway. We had on a beard. He grew out his beard, but he was just sitting down looking around. It was really him. He does stuff like that. He's just a regular dude. He was on what was he on I want to say I think he was on a 4 train, headed downtown somewhere. And the white woman picked him right up. They was like, yo, that's Keanu Reeves. He just does shit like that. He doesn't think like he don't think he's super, like, he don't think he's a superstar. And it was really him. My boy said, yeah, I looked in the train when the door closed. I looked right in his face. And he was just like reading the book and just looking around. He said, oh, it was him. And the girls was like, no, that was him. And nobody like approached him or nothing like that. It was really him. And then I think that week someone did take a picture of him and put it on Facebook. And that's how I saw it. I said, oh, my boy told me about that. He wasn't on the car when he got off. I forgot what stop it was. But the white chicks picked it right up and saw it. And then I saw it a couple of days later on Facebook. He was really on the train. He wasn't just like this, but because of this movie, he had half of Manhattan, the white boys dressed like this, like Neo. And if they were blonde, they were dyeing their. How many blonde-haired dudes or women you knew dyed their hair black? It's usually the other way around. He made it cool. Neo and Trinity made it cool to have black hair. Oh yeah. So that's what caught my eye about this. This was trend setting right here. It really was.
For me, when I think about this film, man, it has to be the first film where they hired the action choreographers from Hong Kong, the Yuan clan, Yuan Wu Ping, who has choreographed so many kung fu films throughout the ages. If you want to know, one of his biggest choreographed films was Jackie Chan's Drunken Master.
Oh, beautiful.
The first one. That was Yuen Wu-Ping choreographing that. In fact, he had an independent film company that he had just started up, and he had been looking for some talent to, star in a couple of scripts that he had written. So he calls up Run Shaw.
Oh, wow.
And he says, I'd like to borrow Alexander Fushing. And
Chinatown Kid.
Run Shaw said, absolutely not.
Ooh.
Because his actors and actresses were under long-term contracts. I think when they signed a contract, it was usually for like 7 years. And Fushing was in the heat of a contract with Shaw's and filming 2 or 3 films at one time. Run nixed that deal and opportunity for Alexander Fushing. And so after he couldn't get Fushing, who was a real talent in Hong Kong, well respected, an idol that cinema goers, they loved Fushing with his boyish looks and charm. He was very popular.
Yeah.
But Shaw wouldn't let him go. So
he was mixed, wasn't he?
Fushing? No, his parents were both Chinese.
He looked kind of like white too.
Yeah, he had a weird look, but no, he was full Chinese.
Wow.
I have an autobiography on him.
Okay.
Very, very. He came from a wealthy family too. He wanted to play in films and stuff, and at first they were like looking at that like that was beneath them, So it's interesting. But long story short, Shaw wouldn't let him do it, so Yuen Wu-Ping turned his attention to someone else that would be good at least handling the choreography that he intended for the film. Remember, I said he had written a few scripts, so he was looking for talent that could uphold the what was required on page for the action. So there was this guy who had been playing in a lot of films and was known to be a daredevil as far as what directors asked of him on film sets. And that turned out to be Jackie Chan. And wow. Jackie, who had played a number of roles for Lo Wei's film company, Lo Wei tried to turn him into the new Bruce Lee by putting him in a variety of roles that were similar to like what Bruce Lee might play, like right. Dragon Fist and To right. Kill with Intrigue and films like that. Those films were never successful. So Lo Wei, when he was asked if he would lend Jackie out, he was like, yeah, he's box office poison to me anyway. And he was Jackie's godfather, Lo Wei. So he was like, yeah, you could use him. Overnight success in Snake in the Eagle's Shadow turned Jackie into the newest Hong Kong star since Bruce Lee. And that was in 1978. The film was followed up by Drunken Master. So remember, I said Yuen Wu-Ping had a couple of scripts that he had written, and Jackie starred and played in both of them, and it made him an immediate superstar. So with that little bit of information, Yuen Wu-Ping had developed enough of a choreographer's respectability that when Hollywood came calling for the Matrix film, they wanted something groundbreaking. And he and his brothers, because there's a few of them, there was like 7 brothers or so with the Yuen clan. They came over to the US, met up with the Wachowskis, talked about what they would do, and they said that they wanted this film to have elements of kung fu, but they wanted the kung fu to be realistic looking, So by bringing the Yuen clan in, Keanu Carrie Ann Moss, Lawrence Fishburne, all the major stars. What's his name that plays Agent Smith? Forgive me, I can't think of his name right now. They all underwent like 6 months of training under Yuen Wu Ping's brothers and choreographers to teach them so they could fight on film. And when I think of this film, I think about that. I think about the martial arts that was in this film, because added with the element of special effects, it took me back to the 5 Venoms. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta do it.
Venoms weren't even choreographed by Yuen Wu Ping, believe it or not. It was those 5 guys that were in the 5 Venoms. They were all the choreographers of their films. Hugo Weaving, thank you,
that's
Young
him.
Deezy, appreciate that. Yeah, so to see what they did with the martial arts here, when Lawrence Fishburne was telling Neo in the dojo, you know, show me, when he said, I know Kung Fu, and they were fighting and everything, the flipping, the in the air, and I was like, man, this is so damn cool. And I don't know why, but I could remember watching this in the theater and saying to myself, I wonder, is this the kind of stuff that Bruce Lee envisioned doing, you know, at this time? Because remember, when this came out in 99, you know, he had been dead a long time, but no one had really built on what he had done cinematically with action.
Right.
You know?
Right.
The closest person that you could say that may have taken it to a different level is Yuen Wu Ping and his cast of choreographers and his brothers, because they have done so much work, man. It's unbelievable. I could run some of the titles down. You might recognize them, but it's like he's been around for a long time, and he was also a stunt actor for the Shaw Brothers. He was never a lead or main choreographer for Shaw Brothers, but when he broke away and went independent, he took off. He took off big time.
Real quick, M. Banks Unfiltered had a question, and I didn't know any of this. You know, maybe you would know. Did the Wachowski brothers did they approach Will Smith for this role first before Keanu?
Yes, he turned it down.
Wow.
Because remember, this was after like Independence Day and stuff like that. So Will was like really hot. Yeah, Will was really hot. So he turned down this role because, and I'm going to explain how and why that could have happened. Remember how groundbreaking this was?
Yes.
Nothing before this had ever been done. Nothing before it. So when they presented it to him, and remember, the Wachowskis weren't known. They were like some up and coming directors and everything. 2 brothers that were trying to kickstart something. They had an amazing story, but you know, it's kind of like when George Lucas tried to get Star Wars made for the first time. Studios were turning them down.
They laughed at him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
George
like
Lucas got laughed at for Star Wars, y'all.
And so Keanu, not Keanu, but the Wachowskis, when they were trying to get this made and Will Smith was approached, Will was probably feeling himself at that time, you know, and it was like, I don't think I want to do anything like that, you know, but I wish you guys well. And now you can't help but associate Keanu with this film. It's like, you know, that was he had done films like Speed and stuff like that, Point Break and stuff, but
Keanu's journey, he reinvented himself, because you got to remember, people still look at him as Bill and Ted. Excellent, bogus, that guy.
Yeah.
When he came back out with Speed, he was kind of like reinventing himself. I relate that to just a little sidebar, but when New Edition came out, they were still looked at as kids. They reinvented themselves when they added Johnny Gill. When Bobby Brown left the group, They added Johnny Gill to give them a more adult approach to music.
Yes.
You understand? So Keanu Reeves had to get away from that Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure, which were good films, but he didn't want to be that guy anymore.
Right.
So then when Speed came out, that was his reintroduction to Hollywood. So this was right up his alley. And man, oh man, did this and Point Break, and man, this was it right here. This was found gold. And it's always a gem when the people that are a part of something like this, they look at this. This is now, how old is this movie now? Over 20 years old now. That fast, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking back like, man, we had no idea what this was about to be. No clue. And those be the best movies, man. And you said it did okay at the box office, but a majority of the fame came from DVD sales, correct?
Well, yeah. In retrospect, now it has taken in, like I said, over 467 million. But
ooh, man,
it made back its initial, what the investment. It made profit. But
what was the budget?
The budget was, what did I say? It was 60. The budget was 63 million. 63 million.
Oh, God. And in grand total, they did how many? How much? 400 what?
467.6 million.
Oh. Look at the chat. They said Will declined the Matrix for the Wild Wild West. Hey, listen, man, Wild Wild West wasn't a bad film, but this is the Matrix. He's kicking himself in his entire ass. Wild Wild West. And he did the soundtrack for the film. Well, one song. I like the idea of the Wild Wild West, but this is the Matrix, buddy. Oh man, this was you talk about popcorn movies. Oh, get your favorite drink. And
do you remember him in Constantine?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he was pretty good as that.
Johnny Mnemonic. I mean, look, Keanu was on a tear. He was on a tear, man.
Hey, I liked him also in Bram Stoker's Dracula, man.
Oh yeah, that was a sleeper.
Do you remember when what's his name, Gary Oldman, who played Dracula in there, when he had saw him in that room with the ladies, and did they have some babies or something in there that they were eating, and there was like blood everywhere, and Keanu was screaming. He was like, no, and Gary Oldman as Dracula was just laughing. He had that evil laugh, like, and he was like, no.
Man, that
movie cracking up. Hey, when he was going to Castle Dracula, right? And so the carriage came to pick him up, and he was standing on the side of the road. So the carriage, it had some creepy little dude, like, driving the carriage. He had a dark hat on and
yeah.
So Keanu was standing on the side, right? So he was looking up at the guy, and the guy opened the door because he never got out of the carriage seat. He opened the door for Keanu to get in. And listen, if you've seen this movie, if you ain't watched this scene and laugh, you ain't got no sense of humor. But you got to go back and watch this scene. When he opened the door for Keanu to get in the thing, he put his hand on Keanu's shoulder like this and lifted him into the thing.
Let's see.
Keanu had this look on his face like, what the fuck? The dude lifted him up.
He was He was second thinking the entire trip. He was like, wait a minute. He was like,
he lifted him up and put him into the damn thing, man. I was rolling, bro. I had to rewind that because I got it on DVD. I bought it with the DTS sound and everything because that's a hell of a movie. That Bram Stoker's Dracula. I got to get the 4K version of it now too. But man, when he put Keanu in the thing, it was like he barely touched his shoulder, but he lifted him up into the thing.
Bro.
And he drove.
I'd have been like, stop. No. What's happening? What are we doing here? No. Who are you? Nope, never mind. Out.
Hey, and then when he got to the castle, if my memory serves correct, because I ain't watched it in a number of years, but I love the film. When he got to the castle, he gets out of the damn carriage. And when the carriage drives off, there ain't no dude driving it no more. It's like,
yeah. Yo. Do you remember when he turned into the bat creature and he backed into the closet and turned into rats?
Yeah.
Bro, chill.
Man.
Yo, the Constantine movie he did, that's the DC character Constantine, right? That's him.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
He was supposed to have blonde hair, but Keanu didn't want to dye his hair blonde. But yeah, and that dude smoked like 40 packs a day.
Yeah, that character's ill. Constantine. That was funny, man. Holy cow.
Man, let me tell you, that Bram Stoker's Dracula, we got to do a show on that.
Yeah, we do.
That movie right there, man, I love it. It's one of the best Dracula movies ever, man. And you got that crazy-ass Gary Oldman, man. That dude is a hell of an actor. Have you seen Oppenheimer?
No, I didn't see that.
Listen, he's in Oppenheimer, and you would never guess who he's playing. Because he don't even look like himself. He looks just like who he's playing. They did the prosthetics and stuff on him. You know who he's playing in there?
Oh.
Harry S. Truman, the president.
What?
He's playing the president because, you know, Oppenheimer had made the atomic bomb and everything.
Yeah.
He was invited to the White House to talk to the president and everything. And the president was... I ain't gonna tell you what happens there, but it's tripped out how the president. You got to see the movie. It's a damn good movie. It's long though. It's 3 hours, but yeah, Gary Oldman's playing the president in the movie. You can't even tell it's him. I'm like,
damn.
Dude, he's a good actor, man. He's a great actor. I shouldn't say good actor. He's a great actor, Gary Oldman. Yeah, man.
Oh man, Mana Mansa Musa. I saw that in the movies. It was kind of comical. I ain't gonna hold you. You saw Drag Me to Hell?
No, I haven't seen that.
Bro, listen, man. That movie's messed up, man. That movie's we got to do a review on weird movies. That right there, it's like, wait a minute, when the ending, you're like, yo, they really did that? What? Yo, bro, I was in the theater like this. They could have ended like that? They did. I left the theater undone. Like, yo, they really did that. They really, yo, bro, we got to do movies with messed up endings. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, movies like Hostel.
Hostel's messed up. What you call it? The Stephen King movie, when they opened up the portal to the other dimension and all those animals came through. The Mist.
Oh yeah, the Mist.
Oh my God! Come on, that ending, bro. I was in the theater like, no.
Do you remember Species?
Yes.
That was something else.
Yo, write that down. We got to do that show. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was bad. And the Mist book, I heard it was worse. That was crazy. Yeah, but Species creeped me out, man. The Species character, who's the artist that draws all those aliens? Oh man, what's his name? Because my boy got a tattoo of his artwork. What's that guy's? Let me see. His artwork. What's his name? It's gonna drive me crazy. What is his name? Wait.
Who is it you trying to think of? What now?
The guy. All right, that movie Species. The guy that draws he draws aliens. But it's an artist that draws all that futuristic stuff. I'm really into that
comic artist.
Yeah, he's like he draws these paintings, and he be at the comic conventions. He draws all of this fantasy art. Like I was talking about heavy metal and stuff. He's one of those dudes. What is his damn name? What crap?
Is that Guy Davis?
No. I'm darn it. I'll know when I see it. But he draws all of this stuff. They have a whole video game with aliens in.
Is it Dave Dorman?
No.
I'm trying
They have a whole video game with aliens based off of his artwork. What is his name?
Mark A. Nelson?
No.
I'm going through these various comic artists who draw these
this fantasy art, right?
Yeah. Mark Garlick.
No.
Greg Land. Nathan Pyle.
H.R. Geiger. That's him.
H.R. Geiger.
H.R. Geiger. That's him. It's H.R.Giger. He's a Swiss artist and designer. And he draws like nightmarish science fiction motifs. And he drew the alien from the 70s. And he draws all of this alien stuff. He's been doing it since the 70s. He did the design work for Ridley Scott's Alien in 1979. Yeah, this guy's been around forever.
Yeah, I just pulled him up.
Yep. That's him.
He passed away in 2014.
Yeah. This guy's good, man. But my boy has a tattoo on his arm, and it's a poster that he had in his crib. I wouldn't have did that, but it looks dope on him. But whatever. H.R. Geiger, he has a lot of strange looking work, but yeah, he did Species, he did Alien, he did all of that stuff, man. Awesome, man. Awesome stuff, man. H.R. Geiger.
Man, this is crazy how we can go over this stuff on this show, isn't it?
Yeah, ain't it crazy? Yo, you know what I want to do? And you probably did it on one of your Kung Fu film focuses, but you know, I want to, since you mentioned it earlier, can we do a show on 5 Deadly Venoms?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
if we do it on here, it'll be different from how I do like any of their films focused on the Kung Fu film focus. So yeah.
Because definitely. You know what? Even if you don't watch Kung Fu movies, you know, even the girls know about that movie.
Yeah, that film, you know what it was like for Hong Kong cinema? It was like kung fu superheroes, basically. You know, and it resonated that way, and it has always had a great place. That's why the Venoms, the five guys, they were so popular. Yeah.
And that right there, everyone knows that film. They know that and Kid with the Golden Arms. It's the same actors,
And
but
to be perfectly honest, that's not even their best film.
It's not.
It's not their best film.
You know what? I one of my favorites was 10 Tigers from Kwantung. That was one of my favorites.
Definitely up there. And that film had a delay in its production because that's one of the films that Fuxing was filming when he ended up getting suffering I think he suffered a injury on set. He broke both his legs. He fell off a wiring stunt and broke both his legs. It either that happened or he passed away before they could finish the production, one or the other. Because he had a bad stretch of a couple of years just before he died in the car accident.
Damn, and then on top of that, damn. Whew.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of people didn't know. What was this guy's name? That he always used his kicks because turns out in real life he was a Taekwondo expert. He wasn't even Chinese. He was Korean.
He was Korean, yeah. Sun Chung. Mm-hmm. He out of the Venoms, he was Korean. Something happened with him later in life, though. He has one eye now. He had an injury to one of his eyes. Yeah.
He's still alive.
Oh yeah. He's still alive. Philip Kwok's still alive. Lo Fang is still alive. Lo Mang is still alive.
Lo Mang did an appearance here in New York a few years ago.
Recently, he's those guys, they were amazing, man.
Yeah, man.
They were the one set of action stars that didn't need stuntmen for themselves. They did everything. Just imagine having 5 Jackie Chans. That's who they were.
Yeah. And again, family, we just miss Bruce Lee making an appearance in one of those Shaw Brothers films. We missed it. We missed it. If Bruce didn't pass, we would have got that, and we'd have got a Sonny Chiba crossover film. Just missed it, bro.
And you would have got Bruce Lee and James Bond's film, Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh man, that would have been awesome.
That was gonna be his next big Hollywood film.
Oh, Mansa Musa got a question about a kung fu movie.
Let's see. He says, I need to ask Sensei about a kung fu movie can help me out with. Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead. Ask away.
Yeah, 5 Element Ninjas and House of Traps was insane.
That's better than 5 Deadly Venoms, because when I think about what's better, that's one of the House of Traps, man. You know, I just recently got that Shaw Brothers box set, and that's in there, remastered, and 2K remastered Blu-ray. It's a good movie, man, and they included the English dub with it too. So it's like, man. And the 3rd box set is coming out this fall, October.
Yeah, Tay, he died while filming Game of Death. And they filmed the end first. He died. And
he didn't finish Game of Death, but he filmed a lot though. Like what you guys have seen. Because this last box set that I had told you I bought, I said I'm not buying any more Bruce Lee box sets because it's the most complete. They put all of his footage that he shot for Game of Death in there. And that film was going to be something else. It's amazing because he didn't think like the rest of the Chinese people. you know, that were making films at that time. He was on another wavelength.
Right.
When you add in the fact that he liked them herbs, and you know, he was starting to do that toot thing, you know, that really put him in a different state of mind. It's
he was somewhere else. I don't think he understood the he didn't understood what that stuff was doing to him. You know, no, he understand. It's like,
but see, now that you know the truth about that, don't it explain that weight loss though?
Explains a lot, man.
Explain that weight loss, man.
Explains a lot. Did you send me that picture on Instagram?
Yeah.
His last picture? Yeah.
That's the last shot of him alive, you know, taken like in his backyard or something. You see how much muscle mass he lost and everything? He was dude, he looked like a little girl by his arms and everything.
He just looking like straw weight. Straw weight, yeah. All right, Musa. Yeah, just hit me. Just hit me. He said it's a lot. Yeah, it's hit me. Hit me with that. Yeah, man. But yeah, to bring it full circle to what we're talking about tonight, those movies that we came up watching, those movies were from the 70s and early 80s. They all inspired the choreography of the fight scenes in The Matrix. And it's weird to see that like some 2.5 decades later, how what we grew up watching was accepted in Hollywood. And that was a major instrumental part of the success of this film. That was great, man.
And to add something for trivia's sake, did you guys know, like, what's his name that was in the second Matrix film that was the protector of the Oracle? What's his name?
What was his name?
Chinese guy.
Wasn't that supposed to be Jet Li?
Yep, that was originally supposed to be Jet Li, but Jet Li turned the film down like Will Smith did, and he was supposed to be in that role.
Go, brother.
And the funny thing about that character, it was written specifically for Jet Li.
Hold on, bro. This is Monster Musa calling me right now. Hold on, bro. Let me hold on.
Okay.
All right, I got you on speaker.
All right, Sensei, hear me?
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, Sensei, this movie is like they take fight scenes and different elements, and it's a group that go out first, and it's always somebody that survived and come back with information. With the first fight scene, they go fight these people that's in gold, and they use like these shields to make the sun blind them, and they cut them up real quick.
Oh, 5 Element Ninja.
Yeah, the 5 Element Ninjas or Chinese Super Ninjas.
Yup, that's it.
I think it's Super Ninjas, ain't it?
Yup, that's it.
The dude got the claws on his feet.
Yup.
Yep, that's it, bro.
That's it. We can cover that. Hell yeah.
Okay, that's the one I've been trying to figure out for years now.
Yep.
Okay. All right, my bad. I'm at work.
Good looking, brother. Okay.
I appreciate it, James.
Yep. 5 Element Ninja. That's my guy at the end. I am Chow Yun Munga.
Yeah.
Leader of the ninja.
Leader of the ninja. I am Chow Yun Munga. Yeah, that's it. Chinese Super Ninja. Oh man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, we definitely gotta do 5 Deadly Venoms, man. 5 Deadly Venoms, that was the man, I remember when I watched that, the first time I saw that, we all came home because those movies, the Shaw Brothers movies used to come on at 3 o'clock on Saturdays. And no matter where we was in the summertime, we would be outside playing ball, 90 degrees outside. Be like, yo, it was 250. Whose house we going to? And we all, my mother be like, no, y'all not coming in here. And we go to somebody's house. And we sat down, and when we watched that, and he was like, I had students. And when we was like, what are we looking at today? And they had on masks, and they had these special abilities. We was like, yo. At that time, that had to have been like 1983, 84 when we saw that. It was the greatest thing we ever.
The snake, the toad,
centipede,
the
lizard,
the lizard,
snake, toad, lizard, centipede, and I'm forgetting one, right? Snake, toad, lizard, centipede.
And
Oh crap, I'm forgetting one. Lizard, snake, toad, centipede.
I can't even remember.
No, because the last student was learning everything. He could climb walls like the lizard. He knew a little bit of everything. Poison Clan rocks the world. Snake, toad, lizard, centipede. Was it scorpion?
Scorpion, there you go.
Yeah, scorpion, yeah. Centipede was a cheat code. He kicked the shit out you on the floor. Man, you know what I would have loved to have seen though? It would be really dope if they did a prequel of what they did that made them so infamous. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to really show the actors unless you want to get freaky with it and computer generate their faces. You know what I'm saying? Like how they do today. But they all wore masks and only Lizard and Toad knew each other for real. Everyone else didn't know each other. So if they did a prequel with the mask on and it just showed how they became such badasses, that'd be dope. I mean, at least do a comic of that. That'd have been great, man. But all of that stuff led to the Matrix. That's why we appreciated it so much.
Final thoughts and words, bro, because you're doing your painful excellence, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
let's get
Another
ready.
slam dunk. Matrix was a cult classic. I mean, we could do the other two. But this one right here is what set it off. The hidden gems in this film made everything worthwhile, man. And the replay value it's a classic, man. It's a classic. So this was great, man. Another slam dunk, Sensei. And can't wait till next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate you being here, being a part of this, man. It gives me a chance to reflect and go back into that phase of like, why it's what keeps me alive, man. Diving into this stuff as a nerd, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody out there in the chat, too, coming in this evening. We held a good almost 30 people for the whole show, pretty much. That was cool, you know? But you guys got to share this stuff and get some more nerds. We want a greater nerd audience. We want to pull them folks out there that was sitting at home scrolling through their phones because you didn't share the content. You know, we got to pull them in. Pull them in.
Pull them in. We have fun here, man.
Exactly.
Let your nerd out. Let it out, man. It's okay.
Yeah. So, but we're going to get on up out of here. Take your positive energy over to Pep Talk that's coming up very shortly in a minute or two. So shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.